Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, so shall we wait till other students join? Only 3 students are here, I suppose. No, 2.
The assignments without using the
Ma'am, others are in the other meeting, ma'am.
Why is that?
We got a Zoom meeting at 7 o'clock, ma'am.
So
We
then
got...
that will not be over.
No, it's not still finished, ma'am.
We have shared a word template. You can use that template normally. You just
So what shall we do? We are starting a new lesson. So is it a meeting conducted by your institute, university?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, we'll just discuss. So then meanwhile other students will join because
Okay, ma'am.
okay, today we are moving to a new subject. Don't know whether we are familiar to each other, the same set of students or new batch. I have no idea. How is it? Have we met early? That means you know me, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am. I already know.
Okay.
okay.
So today we are moving to a new topic, new subject. The subject is called teaching English as a second language. Simply we say TESL, teaching English as a second language. Okay, so this is a very familiar subject. So everywhere it is spoken. Even degree programs are there by this name. So this is a very recognized, well-known subject and the field of English. Okay, teaching English as a second language. If you think about Sri Lankan context, in Sri Lanka, we learn English language as our second language. Okay, so under this subject, there are certain topics. I will show you them here. So altogether there are nearly 7 topics. Okay, so today we are with the first topic. So this is actually we are having 7 units. There are 7 units under this subject, second language, teaching English as a second language. Okay, so first topic, language, literature and aesthetic. Okay, so now you may be wondering, even I wondered actually when I received the syllabus, what is this? Language, literature and aesthetic. Under that, we will be talking about different creative forms of English language, literature, media and translation. Are you not confused with the subject? I mean this topic? Our subject is teaching English as a second language, but under that we are going to study about language, literature and aesthetic. What is the meaning of aesthetic? So in Sinhala, I don't know whether you know, sorry, I don't know Tamil. In Sinhala we say Saundaryatmaka. So then music, dancing, singing, then all those things will come under aesthetic subjects. Okay, so then we'll proceed. So under first topic, there are many more topics. I thought of covering these topics today. Okay, introduction, objectives, different forms translation, media. And there are many more, 1.4, 1.5 like that. So this is what I planned for today. Are you clear with what we are going to do? That clarity, the clearance is highly needed, because without that, starting learning is useless. So if I explain once again, your subject is teaching English as a second language. Under this subject, there are different units. There are different topics. So today we are with the first topic, language, literature, and aesthetic. So under that, different creative forms of English language, literature, media, and translation. Okay, so that means you will get an introduction to this subject. It's very important. Then objectives of this subject, different forms of literature, poetry, prose, drama, non-fiction, media, all these things. And I know now you are confused. And we'll just little by little we will understand what we are going to study. Okay, and the introduction you can read this. Okay, can I explain? Now there are 13. That means there are 11 students. Okay. Language, literature, and aesthetic can be effectively integrated into second language teaching to provide a rich and engaging learning experience. Okay, so this is the very reason why we are going to study about language with literature and aesthetic subjects, because we can integrate. What is the meaning of integrate? What is the meaning of integrate? Integrate means we can combine, we can join. Okay, so language teaching can be integrated to literature and other aesthetic subjects. So when we are effectively integrating into second language this stuff, language, literature, and aesthetic, there will be a rich and engaging learning experience for the student. Okay, tell me whether you got this. In other words, literature and aesthetics can be used to teach in second language. Is that clear?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Yes.
So Maya, I did not send that the slide because I thought of after doing this lecture, both I will send today.
Okay, madam.
Okay, so then cultural immersion. Okay, immersion is a noun, came from the verb emerge. You know the meaning of emerge. In Sinhala we call matu enawa, udata enawa. Literature, by studying literary works from the target language culture, learners can gain a deeper understanding of its values, customs, and history. So if I tell you, here we all will consider English as the second language that we are going to teach today. Okay? So when we use literary works of English language, learners can gain a deeper understanding of its values, customs, and history. In other words, English literature can be used to teach English language. That is the basic idea. When students learn English literature, they will be having a broad understanding about English culture, English values, English customs, English history. Okay, you know, language and culture, they are the same. Language and culture cannot be separated. Okay, for an example, within Sri Lanka, we'll say Sinhalese culture is interconnected with Sinhala language. Tamil culture is integrated with Tamil language. In Sri Lanka, even Muslim culture is integrated with the Tamil language used by Muslims. Okay, did you get some idea? So, when we are teaching second language, that means English, we can make use of English literature. Is that clear?
Yes, madam.
Then media, not only English literature, media. Exposure to films, TV shows, and music from the target language can help learners immerse themselves in the culture and improve their listening comprehension. Okay, not only literature, even media. That means films, TV shows, and music of the target language. If it is English, English films, English TV shows, English songs can help learners immerse themselves in the culture and improve their listening comprehension. Okay, so in the process of second language learning, we can make use of media to teach the second language. Okay, so we'll proceed. Okay, here, cultural immersion. So when we are teaching literature and when we are using media to teach English language, there is a cultural immersion. Two cultures will get together. Next.
Madam,
Yeah,
are you speaking?
No. I'm not speaking. I'm allowing you to read. Did you finish reading?
Wait, madam, I have lost my signal. That's why I asked.
Okay, sure.
Okay, madam.
Okay. A motivational tool. Engaging with literary works can motivate learners to continue studying the language and explore its cultural richness. So when we integrate literature in second language learning, the students will be motivated and they will continue studying the language. Okay? So media. Enjoying media from the target language can make learners more enjoyable and rewarding. So just imagine English teachers when they are teaching English language to children. If they use media, students will be enjoying learning a language. The problem is in the past, teachers did not do so. But if you are showing them a film, video, TV show, if you are playing English music for them, they will learn English language in an enjoyable way. Next one, language acquisition. Read that also.
Okay, madam.
Harry, okay. Language acquisition, literature, reading and analyzing literary texts can help learners develop a deeper understanding of grammar, vocabulary, and syntax. So when we are using literature, that means poems, short stories, drama, then process to teach English language without knowledge, the students will understand grammar, vocabulary, and syntax, and they will improve in it. Media. Listening to and watching media from the target language can improve learners' pronunciation, intonation, and fluency. Okay? So media will help students to improve their pronunciation skills. Intonation means raising and lowering the voice, sound, and fluency. Okay, so if you had a problem, why there are many more. We'll understand this also.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Critical thinking and creativity. Literature. Analyzing literary works encourage learners to think critically about language, culture, and society. Okay, so then there was a period that even in Sri Lanka, the educationalists, they reject literature from uh, school syllabus. Reject in the sense they did not value of learning literature. So people were asking why we are teaching literature. But now again the demand has come because learning literature will make very good students. So then they are thinking, critical thinking ability will improve when they are learning literature. And when it comes to media, engaging with media can stimulate creativity and imagination. Okay, so media can be used effectively to stimulate creativity and imagination of the student. Okay, so in Sri Lanka, if you think, it has been nearly a century that we have started teaching English as a second language. But still, the learners are not competent in English. The reason is English was taught to students in a very boring way. But if we can integrate English language teaching with literature and media and even translation, it can be very effective. Okay, so that is the idea. If you can't understand certain things, you can ask questions or at least put a message to chat box.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, cultural sensitivity. Literature and media both, by exploring the cultural context of literary works and media, learners can develop a greater appreciation for cultural diversity and avoid cultural misunderstanding. So when we are teaching a second language, when we are teaching English in Sri Lanka, if we mix English language teaching with literature and media, the students will understand cultural diversity. That means Sri Lankan culture and Western culture. So they are different. And avoid cultural misunderstanding. Okay, so they will not misunderstand the other culture. By integrating language, literature, and aesthetics into second language teaching, educators can create a more engaging, meaningful, and culturally relevant learning experience for their students. Okay, so that is what we can do with literature, aesthetics, media, and all these things. Did you get an idea about why we are learning these things?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now we are going to study these things. Let me show you. Okay, I have changed the order. Objectives. Okay, after studying this unit. So what is the unit? I'm very afraid when you are learning, you will not remember what you are learning. So this unit. Language, literature, and aesthetic. Okay, when after learning this, after study this unit, you will be able to see.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. After you study this unit, you will be able to define literature, media, and translation. Okay, so you will be okay with literature, media, and translation. You can define them with reference to language. To identify and discriminate between different forms of literature. Okay, there are different types of literature. You will be having an idea to understand the objectives, needs, and importance of teaching literature in school curriculum. So that is the most important thing. So at the end of this lesson, you will understand what is the use of, what is the importance of teaching literature in school curriculum. And then you will be able to explain the role and relevance of media in school curriculum. But there is a sound coming. What is that sound? To understand the importance of translation and discuss translation as a creative activity. Okay, so you will be learning all these things. And we'll go. Now here onwards things will be very clear. Up to now I was explaining you why we are learning about language, media, literature, translation under second, teaching English as a second language. So it's something unfamiliar. Hope now you are having some understanding. Okay, so under literature, first we will go to poetry. See.
Finish, madam.
Okay. Poetry. Poetry is a literary form that expresses thoughts and feelings in a compressed, often rhythmic and metrical form. Okay, so you all have studied poetry. I am 100% sure. The poetry is a literary form. It's a literary form that expresses thoughts and feelings. In a poem, we can see the poet's thoughts and feelings in a compressed. You know what compressed? And they are not clearly, elaboratively written, but they are compressed. Okay, so it's not elaborating, often rhythmic. So very often in poetry there is a rhythm, and metrical. Metrical means musical form. It often uses figurative language such as metaphors, similes, and imagery to evoke emotions and create vivid mental picture. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about much because you all know what poetry is.
Finish, madam.
Hari, okay. This is often considered the oldest form of literature. So there are different forms of literature, but poetry is the oldest. Before writing was invented, oral stories were commonly put into some sort of poetic form to make them easier to remember and recite. Okay, so before the printing machine was invented and before writing was invented, people were telling stories in the form of poems because poems are easier to remember and recite. And sometimes when we study for the exam, certain things we remember turning to a point, changing it to a poem. Okay, so then if I tell you some examples here, the stories narrated in the form of a poem. For an example, ballads. Have you heard something called ballads?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Ballads were the early form of poetry actually in the long history, even in medieval era. So they used a poetic form, poetry-like thing called ballads to narrate stories. Poetry today is usually written down, but today if it is a poem, we can see it in black and white. But is still sometimes performed. Even today, there are certain poems which are turned to other media, maybe drama or maybe certain media devices like that. Please proceed. So here you can see some of the definitions about poetry given by poets. Sorry, given by poets. Just get some idea.
Okay, madam.
Okay. According to Robert Frost. Robert Frost is a very famous English poet. He is telling the kind of thing poets write. So it's very simple. So he is telling poetry means the kind of things poets write. What poets write, it is called poetry. And according to William Wordsworth, the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. What does it mean? So what is the meaning of spontaneous? Do you have any idea? Spontaneous. Spontaneous means without an effort. Okay, so without an effort. The poets are having very powerful feelings. Sometimes without their knowledge, these feelings are coming out. Then poetry comes. As a result of overflow of powerful feelings, there will be poems. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The recollection of an emotion which causes a new emotion. That is also an idea given by William Wordsworth. The recollection, recollect. Okay, recollection of an emotion which causes a new emotion. Okay. The recollection of an emotion which causes a new emotion. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Harry, okay. The poetry is feeling, confessing itself to itself in moments of solitude. Solitude means loneliness. Okay, so then poetry is feeling, confessing. You know what confess? And confessing is something very much related to Christianity. The Christians, they will confess at the church. So then in front of God, in front of Jesus Christ, or something like that. I have heard. I'm not a Christian. Poetry is feeling, confess. Confess. In Sinhala we call paapocharane karanawa. Itself to itself in moments of solitude. When a poet is alone and when he wants to confess something, as a result, a poem will come. And you need not to remember these definitions by heart. Okay, just know them. And some more, you see. Okay, we'll understand this. Poetry is the art of uniting pleasure with truth by calling imagination to help reason. That is Samuel Johnson. Poetry is the record of the best and happiest moments of the happiest and best mind. So that is according to Percy Bysshe Shelley. Okay, so these are no need of discussing. We need to save time also. Okay, so these are certain definitions given by different poets about poetry. There are many more. Simply read. When we read a poem, something happens within us. They bring to life a group of images, feelings, and thoughts. Okay, so that is Stegberg and Anderson. So that's what they are telling. That is true actually. When we are reading a poem with an understanding, a group of images will come to our mind. Feelings. Poetry is simply the most beautiful, impressive, and widely effective mode of saying things. So that is according to Matthew Arnold. And then poetry teaches the enormous forces of a few words. That is also correct. So within a small poem, we can insert a huge idea. Okay, so all these things are there. And now we'll simply get to know certain different forms of poetry. Okay, there are different forms. Okay, just see them. I need to have the title there. I have put the title, but in case. Okay, different forms of poetry. Under that, we'll study first traditional forms.
Okay.
Okay, so these are traditional forms of poems, sonnets. Okay, I hope you all have learned literature somewhere, but as these subjects are within this subject, as these topics are within the subject, I am teaching you them. Sonnet is a 14-line poem, typically written in iambic pentameter with a specific rhyming scheme. So one stressed sound is followed by unstressed sound. There are two main types, the Italian or Petrarchan sonnets and the English or Shakespearean sonnet. Okay, our target is not to learn about sonnet much, just to know that there is a variety of poems called sonnets. In a sonnets, there are 14 lines, and within the lines there is a rhyming scheme that is called iambic pentameter, and then there are two types of sonnets. One is called Italian or Petrarchan sonnets, and the other one is called English or Shakespearean sonnets. And then there is another variety of old traditional poems called haiku. Have you heard of haiku?
Yes,
No.
ma'am.
Yes, okay, very good. Some are telling no, it's okay. A Japanese poem of 3 lines. Haiku poems are very short. Haiku poems are there in Japan. So then Japanese poem of 3 lines, only 3 lines are there, containing 5, 7 and 5 syllables respectively. You know what syllables? Haiku often focus on nature and evoke a single feeling moment. Okay, so then most of the haiku poems are about nature. So they evoke feelings also. And see what other varieties are.
Okay. ma'am.
Okay. Ballad. A narrative poem. Earlier also I was talking about ballads. Ballad is a narrative poem, often with a strong rhythmic and musical quality. Okay, so ballads were they are to be sung that tells a story. In a ballad, we can get to know a story. Ballads can be either traditional or modern. Okay, so there can be modern ballads also. They are rare, but not many. Then ode, a poem that celebrates a person, place, or thing. Odes can be formal or informal. But if I tell you more about odes, in an ode, the poet will be talking to an object, person, or feeling. Okay, then lyrics, a short poem that expresses personal feelings or emotions. Lyrical poems often have musical quality. Okay, so these things are there. We'll see further.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so epic. Epic is a long narrative poem that tells the story of a hero's adventures. In Sinhala, we call Virakriya. Okay, so in an epic poem, you can see the adventures of a hero. Epics often deal with themes of courage, loyalty, and fate. Okay, so they were old form of poems. What were they? Can you remember? Epic, ballads, haiku.
Excuse me, madam.
Sorry. Yes.
Madam, what is the difference in between epic and ballad?
Epic ballad is narrating a story. In a ballad, there is a story, and ballads can be sung. Okay, so then while singing, even ballad can be acted out. Okay, so then there are ballads about different topics. For an example, there are ballads about love, the ballads about social matters, like that. So ballads were similar to this street dramas, or in village level there were some nadagam. It's like that. But epics were not about any other thing. Epics were only about the adventures of heroes. Is it clear now?
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Hari, okay. If you have a doubt, just like that, you can ask. Hari. Now, the modern form of poetry. See,
Okay, ma'am.
Hari, okay. So these are modern forms. Out of these three, I am sure that you all know free verses. But I think most of you may not be aware of concrete poetry and found poetry. Am I correct?
Yes, madam.
Oh, yes. Okay, good. So we'll understand them. I have put certain examples also later after this. Free verse, that's a type of poetry. And free verse does not follow a regular rhyming scheme or meter. Okay, there's no rhyming pattern. There's no meter. Meter means it is a thing related to poetry. When there is a meter, we can keep in Sinhala we call thala tiyanama. So we can sing it. Okay, but in a free verse, rhyming scheme is not there, meter is not there. Free verse allows for greater flexibility and experimentation. So there is a huge flexibility in a free verse. And we can do lots of experiments writing free verse. And most of the poems we see today, they are free verses. Okay, then what are concrete poetry? Concrete poetry is poetry that is arranged in a visual shape, often related to the poem subject matter. Okay, so then according to the subject matter of the poem is written in a particular shape. Shall I show you one? Then you will understand. So this is a concrete poem. You see. I forgot to type the title of the poem. Yeah, let me type it. So that is the title. Snowman. And don't you feel the structure of the poem is also similar to a snowman?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that is a concrete poem. It's called outside. I don't want to go outdoors and play. But mom says I have to anyway. It is starting to snow and I am going to freeze. I hate playing outside on days like this. But wait a second, Kianika. I had the most amazing, brilliant idea. I'll cover myself up with snow and I'll hide in here. Okay, so then, so this is a concrete poems. We can understand it very easily. So this poem is called Snowman. Even the shape of the poem is also similar to that. So later you can Google concrete poetry and then you can see lots of examples.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, why they are using that BR burr like that?
So that is actually the sound, the shivering.
Okay, ma'am.
When we are shivering, in Sinhala, because of the coldness, the person is shivering.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
It is while we are writing this type of poem, it is necessary, ma'am, to use these sounds.
No. It's not compulsory. But
Okay.
if you like, because this is about snowman, so that sound is there. But if you don't like it, you can write in another way.
Okay.
It's not compulsory. Okay,
Okay,
you
ma'am.
also can start writing concrete poetry. That is a new way of writing poetry. I don't think that most of the Sri Lankans are even aware of that. Even in school curriculum, even in any other place. Even I am also teaching the subject literature at many places, but I have never got this concrete poetry in their syllabus. Okay, we'll go to the other one, concrete poetry. Then found poetry. Found poetry created from existing text, such as newspaper articles or advertisement. Found poetry. So then actually the poem is there in the mind of the creator, but the way of preparing it is different. Okay, I will show you a found poem here. You see. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Sorry.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, that means here you can understand the just to form this poem, the writer has taken these words from here and there, maybe from newspapers, maybe from advertisement, maybe from a leaflet, like that. But when we read all these words together, it is a poem. It's all about you right here, where time stands still, faster than the lights. Here we come. You never forget the first time. How far you go is up to you. So that's a poem. It is called a found poem. And here there is a haiku poem. I told you haiku poem is a 3-line poems in Japan. And most of the haiku poems are about nature. So these are 4 haiku poems. Okay, so then I don't know whether are there English teachers here? There is no even a single English teacher here, but okay, anyway. So if you happen to teach English language to your student, if you become teachers one day, English teachers, you can try these things with your students. Okay, then it will be interesting for them. An afternoon breeze expels cold air along with the fallen brown leaves. Cherry blossoms bloom, softly falling from the tree, explode into night. And that's about the shortness of our lives, like that. We can interpret it in different way. The warmth of my skin, fire falls beneath the trees. I see the sunset. Summer here again, music plays sweetly drifting, and life is renewed. A very simple poems. They are modern. Okay, so these are poems actually. So there are poems that we can make use of when we are teaching English. Okay, so then from poems, now we are moving to another category, that is prose. Yeah, just read.
Okay, madam.
Hari, okay. Different forms of literature. Prose. Prose is a style of writing that does not follow a strict structure of rhyming and no meter. Okay, the prose is different from poetry. So normally in a poem we expect a kind of rhyming pattern, meter, like that. It's true there are poems without that also. But prose uses normal grammatical structures. In a poem, prose, we can see the normal grammatical structure. So it's just like she goes to school. But you know through your experience, you know from what you have learned, in poetry, the clear grammatical structures are not there. So poets are having something called poetic license. Because of that, they can even change the word order. The grammatical orders can be changed. But in a prose, it's not like that. Elements of prose writing include regular grammar and paragraph structure. In a prose, correct grammar is there, regular grammar. And the prose is a collection of paragraphs, just like an essay. Okay? Prose comes from the Latin term proso oratio. The meaning is straightforward. Okay, in a poem, things are not said directly. But in a prose, the things are said directly. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Hari, okay, you know what process are. Hari. Yeah, read this also.
Okay, ma'am.
Hari, okay. There are two main types of process. Fiction and non-fiction. These are things you know already. Okay, so there are two types of processes: fiction and non-fiction. So then fictions are imaginary, you know. Non-fictions are not imaginary. Fiction is a genre of literature that is based on imagination. It can be divided into several subgenres. The fictions are different types. For an example, novels, short story, and then novella. So what is the difference between a novel and a novella? You can see it. Novel is a lengthy one. It's lengthier than a short story. Novella is shorter than a novel and lengthier than a short story. Okay, did you get the point? So that is called novella. Then science fictions are there. So fiction that explores the impact of technology or scientific advancement. Then fantasy novels are there, fantasy fiction that features magical or supernatural elements. So what is the most famous fantasy? Non-fiction, sorry, fantasy fiction. It was very popular. There are many. Give me one example.
Cinderella.
Sorry?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Very good. Harry Potter, that's what I thought. So Harry Potter is a novel. It's fantasy. It's not real. Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. Okay. So then fictions are imaginary. There are many more. So what is the most famous fiction on mystery? Even Sherlock Holmes stories we can put under this fiction that involves the investigation of a crime or puzzle. Sherlock Holmes stories. Then horror fiction that is intended to frighten or scare the reader. So if there is a novel with Dracula, okay, so horror. Romance fiction that focuses on a love story, you know. Then historical fictions are there. Fiction that is set in a historical period and often incorporates historical events or figures. Okay, so historical fictions are there. Are they clear to you?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Are you? I am explaining them fast because I know they are known things. Then we'll go to non-fiction.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, non-fiction. Non-fiction is a genre of literature that is based on facts and reality. So non-fiction process are with the real facts. We can believe them. It can be divided into several subgenres like biography and autobiography. You know the difference. Biography is not written by the person himself. It's written by somebody else. Autobiography, it is written by the person himself. But normally in a biography and autobiography, most of the facts are real. But there are maybe certain imaginary facts, I don't know. But most of the facts, the percentage of real facts are high. So then you might have read the biography of Abraham Lincoln. It's a really a nice novel. You can read it. It's a biography. So most of the facts are there. So we cannot write a biography without having real facts. An autobiography, of course, that person is writing about himself. At least get to know that these things are there.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Memoir. A personal account of a significant event or period in a person's life. That's not about the whole life, just like biography or autobiography. It's a personal account of a significant event. So there are many significant events in a person's life. This memoir is about only one significant event. Then essay. You know what essays? Journalism, writing that is intended to inform or persuade. And then history, a written account of past event, some historical things. Okay, so hope you got some idea about process. For an example, history. Say our sacred land. It's a prose. Okay, our sacred land. The speech delivered by Great Seattle. It has been converted to a prose. And then I have a dream by Martin Luther King. It's a prose. And then they say, grass for my feet. There was a collection of essays by a Sri Lankan writer long time ago, J. Vijayatunga. Okay, so even in Tamil language, there may be lots of proses. Okay, we'll go to the next one, drama.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. A drama is a literary genre that is intended to be performed. So we are reading dramas with the purpose of studying under certain subjects like literature. But normally, dramas are to be performed on the stage. It is a form of storytelling that involves actors taking on roles and performing the actions of characters in a play. Drama can be staged on a stage, film for a movie, or even performed as a radio play. But normally when we say drama, stage drama comes to our mind. But actually there are drama can be in the form of a film, for a movie, okay, or even performed as a radio play. Radio dramas are there. Okay, so there are different forms we'll get to know. So now we'll pay our attention to elements of drama.
Okay.
Okay, elements of drama, characters are there. So they are the people who populate the play. So they are the ones who are giving the life to the play. They can be complex, and these characters, some characters can be complex, multidimensional individuals, or simpler, more stereotypical figures. There can be different types of characters, and complex, simple characters, multi-dimensional individuals, characters with different characteristics, and very stereotypical figures, very traditional figures may be there. Okay, plot. The sequence of events that make up the story. You know what plot is? A plot is a series of events that make the story. Okay, that make up the story. Because of these events only, there will be a story. The plot typically involves a conflict or problem that the characters must resolve. So always there is a conflict or a problem, just like in a short story. Okay, the characters are facing those problems and they are trying to resolve them, especially the main character. Okay, if it is not clear, put a message or just ask. These things are also there.
Finish, madam.
Hi, okay. Setting. So for a short drama, there is a setting. The setting means the time and place in which the play takes place. Normally, when we see the word setting, only the place comes to our mind. But remember, setting means not only the place, it's both place and the time. The setting can be realistic or fantastical. You might have seen in certain dramas the realistic settings inside the house, kitchen, a school, just like that. Sometimes we can see fantastical setting and maybe heaven, hell, or something like that. Theme, the central idea or message that the play conveys. So all the dramas, they are having a theme or themes, and the dialogues are there, the words spoken by the characters. Dialogue is essential for revealing the characters' personalities, motivation, and relationship. So if the characters are silent, it's very difficult to understand them. And then the stage directions, instructions for the actors and stage crew, specifying how the play should be performed. So these stage directions are within brackets in a drama. You might have seen.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah?
Ma'am, if you take example, if you take the miming drama, ma'am,
Yeah.
in the dialogue section, the audience only should understand the characters, no, without the dialogue, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's correct. I accept. So miming. There in a miming act, there's no wordings. The actor is not talking. But normally mimings are not going for a longer time. And normally miming is performed only by an actor. I also have seen. But that we can understand But a drama which is going for nearly 1 hour, 1.5 hours, just imagine if all the actors are miming, it will not be comfortable to understand.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, what you told is correct. There are miming dramas without dialogues. That's true. Right. Okay, we'll proceed. Oh, yes. Okay, now we'll see types of drama. Okay.
Miss, you missed the previous slide, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
this one we didn't make.
No, ma'am.
Huh? So then this.
Oh, yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
We did, madam.
Correct. Okay, types of drama.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Types of drama. Tragedy. Tragedy is a play that deals with serious themes and often ends in a tragic outcome. So then tragic dramas will end with the sadness. The most of the tragic dramas ends and with the death of the hero. Examples of tragedies include Shakespeare's Hamlet. In the drama Hamlet dies at the end. Socrates' Oedipus Rex. Okay, so that is also an example. I don't know about that drama, but I have done Hamlet. And even Macbeth. At the end of the drama, Macbeth is murdered. Macbeth is the main character. They are tragedies. And opposite of tragedy is comedy. In a comedy, that is also a play, and that is intended to be humorous and often ends happily. So at the end, everything ends with happiness. Examples of comedies include Shakespeare's Midsummer Night Dream, Molière's Taffy. I don't know that drama, but Midsummer Night Dreams I have done. So at the in the beginning to the end, towards the end, they are in a confusion because of certain thing done by certain spirits. But at the end, all got out of it and they were happy. Even Tempest. There is a drama, Shakespearean drama, Tempest, that is a comedy. Everybody is happy at the end. Okay, see the other types.
Okay, ma'am.
Sorry, I was reading, but it was muted. Sorry. Farce is a type of comedy that is characterized by its exaggerated humor and physical comedy. Okay, so then that is a drama. It is a comedy actually. The comic features are exaggerated. Okay, so then melodrama. I don't know whether fast they were staged in Sri Lanka. I have no idea. Melodrama. Melodrama is a play that is characterized by its exaggerated emotions and dramatic plot. Okay, so in a melodrama, emotions are there, but they are exaggerated. You know the meaning of exaggerated. Then tragicomedy. Tragicomedies are there. It's a play that combines elements of tragedy and comedy. Both features are there. Now we'll see about, we'll just to know certain dramatic techniques.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
In the under that drama category, ma'am, the miming drama also will come, ma'am.
A miming drama should be there, but actually it's not a very famous, I mean, in the sense, when it comes to melodrama, there are famous dramatists. Tragedies, comedies, there are famous dramatists like Shakespeare. But normally miming, we have seen in small meetings, but it's not a famous genre. But I agree. So they should also come under drama, but still it is not famous even in Sri Lanka. That may be the reason.
But it can be come under the drama category, no, ma'am, types of.
Yeah, it should come. It should come. But I have never seen it has been put as a category under drama. It's wrong. It should be there, but I don't know why. But it is not put under that. But if you like, you can put it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Can you mime?
Yes, ma'am. I acted.
That's what I sense it. Yeah, that's bad actually. Bad in the sense actually it should come under the drama category. Okay. Yeah, so then I don't know who asked that question. While you are reading, I was searching for miming drama. So actually miming, first when we pay our attention to the history of miming dramas, it started in Greece in the 5th century. Okay, so there was a mime theater, also called theatrical mime. So it is there, but if I explain why it is not taken as a drama genre category here, so here we are focusing on why we how we should use dramas to improve second language. Okay, did you get the point?
Yes, ma'am.
That is why it is not taken here under second language learning, sorry, teaching. Otherwise, it's a drama category. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because here we are dealing with a language, so that is through spoken. At least the spoken form should be there. But miming is a very talented and very nice, very interesting drama category, but that cannot be used under second language teaching. Okay. Then dramatic techniques aside, a remark made by a character directly to the audience, which the other characters on stage cannot hear. Okay, as in an aside, the character on the stage is turning towards the audience and talking to them, not to any other character on the stage. That is aside. And then soliloquy, a speech made by a character alone on stage, revealing their thoughts and feelings. In a soliloquy, a person is character is talking to himself, and sometimes we also do the same thing. Sometimes we talk to ourselves. Sometimes we blame ourselves. Okay, it's like that. A character is talking to herself or himself.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Monologue. A long speech made by a character, often addressing another character or the audience. Monologue. The mono means single. Okay, so one character is talking to the other character. So the other character is not talking. Foreshadowing. In a foreshadowing, it hints or a clue about future event in the play. So then when we are watching the play at the moment, it will give an idea about what will happen in future of the drama. After some time, what will happen. Then flashback, opposite of foreshadowing, a scene set in an earlier time, often used to provide backstory or context. While we are watching the drama at present, we are informed something happened in the past. Okay, we are shown something happened in the past. That is flashback. Okay, so now we have studied poetry, prose, drama, and now in your syllabus there is a separate topic called non-fiction. We'll do that also.
Okay.
Non-fiction. Non-fiction is a genre of literature that is based on facts and reality. When we were talking about process also, we simply talked about non-fiction, but it is there as a major topic. So I took it once again. Unlike fiction, which is based on imagination, non-fiction is rooted in truth. Okay, that is based on truth. It aims to inform, educate, or persuade readers about real world events, people, places, or idea. Okay, so when we read the non-fiction thing, so we are getting familiar with the real world, real things. See type of non-fiction.
Okay.
Okay. Types of non-fiction: biography, autobiography, memoir, essay, journalism. We discuss all these things, you know. And we'll go further. And here you read the, we did not discuss them early.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, history. History, some written thing about history that is coming under non-fiction. Science writing, writing that explains scientific concepts and discoveries. Okay, so certain scientific concepts or else some discoveries. So that is coming, that they are non-fiction. Travel writing, travelogue, writing that describe a journey or experience in a foreign place. True crime, writing that recounts real life crimes and their investigations. So they are non-fiction. Okay, so here we are moving to another topic. Types of dramas. So it should come after the dramas actually. I don't know, these slides got shuffled. Wait. Yes, can you understand what has happened? I'm sorry. Yeah, so these slides, they have got shuffled. Correct. Yeah, wait. Types of dramas that could be students can perform. It should come before dramatic techniques. Okay, sorry, I will arrange it and I will share it with you. Yeah. Okay, so before non-fiction, this part should be covered actually. Monologue, foreshadowing, flashback, and then types of drama students can perform. So we are talking about drama and we are learning about drama because we want to use them in second language teaching. Okay, now we'll pay our attention to what type of dramas we can integrate with English language teaching or second language teaching.
Okay.
Yes. Improvisation or else let's pretend. Okay, so then a scene is set either by the teacher or the children. So we can assume or we can set a scene. And then with little or no time to prepare a script, the students perform before the class. So time is not given to the students to prepare. Okay, so at once you are given a scene, the students will perform the drama within a very limited preparation instantly. So that can be possible. And then role plays, role plays are very common in the field of education. Students are given a particular role in a scripted play. After rehearsal, the play is performed for the class, school, or parents. Okay, role plays. You also might have done role plays at school. Sufficient time is given for the rehearsal, role play. Okay, the role plays can be varies. It can be with the intention of performing even in front of the parents or the school other teachers, or else it can be a role play that you can use only within the time period, only within the period. Then your one is here, mime. So here you can see a way that we can use miming to teach English. And now I know your problem. So why it is not there early as a type of drama? Yes, it's a mistake. I don't know. That is how it was there. So you, if you like, you can put it under a type of drama.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, mime. Children use only facial expressions and body language to pass on a message. Script to the rest of the class. Okay, so this can be used in this way. So teacher can give a certain situation to the students, selected students, so they will be performing it in front of the class without communicating, without talking. the students who are watching, they can use language to express what they are doing, miming. Then mask drama. The main prop are mask. Children then feel less inhibited to perform and overact while participating in this form of drama. Mask drama means the characters are given separate mask. Okay, so then the real students cannot be visible, only the mask is visible. So during Vesak Poson, people are putting this Olubakko, we say, certain mask, and they dance because no one can identify. So mask dramas also can be used in the class. Then students will be confident. They do not feel shy. But sometimes one negative point is students will be overacting. That can happen. So there is another type of way that you can make use of drama. There's no name for that. Children are given specific parts to play with the formal script. Using only their voices, they must create the full picture for the rest of the class. Interpreting content and expressing it using only the voice. Okay, that means that this is a kind of drama. The students are not acting using their gestures, hands, and the body. So they have to act out it only using their voice. Have you heard of such dramas? There is a boy who is an actor miming. Have you heard of this type of drama?
No, ma'am.
No, even I have not seen. So they act out the drama only with the voice. Okay, so then they can sit and act if they want. These are also there.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Puppet plays. You know, puppet plays. Children use puppets to say and do things that they may feel too inhibited to say or do themselves. You know, puppet show. Puppets can be handled using hands actually. So puppet show also can be used. Puppet plays can be used to teach second language. Then performance poetry. While reciting a poem, the children are encouraged to act out the story from the poem. So I also have seen this many times. When one student is reciting a poem, behind the recitation, we can see the act. Then radio drama, similar to script reading, with the addition of other sound effects, the painting of the mental picture is important. Okay, so then radio drama like things we can do with the help of electronic devices, even using your mobile phone. You can record what students are acting, in the sense what they are telling, just like in a radio drama, and then later you can allow the students to listen to it. We'll see. Okay, now only we are coming to non-fiction. Yeah, this we discuss makeup Abhitara. Yes. Okay, here.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Characteristics of non-fiction. Factual accuracy. Non-fiction must be based on verifiable facts and evidence. Okay, if it is non-fiction writing, the fact should be correct. And then objectivity. Non-fiction writers strive to present information in an objective and unbiased manner. Okay, so we know when we are reading fiction, the writer writes in a way that we feel that the writer is biased towards certain characters, towards certain incident. Okay, so the writer's mentality, opinions will affect fictions. But when the writer is writing a non-fiction thing, his personal opinions are not a huge matter. That means he cannot write based on his personal opinions. The reason is what he is writing is based on facts. That is why it is called objective. The personal opinions are not there. Writer's opinions are not there. Informative purpose. The purpose of non-fiction is to inform something. Inform or educate readers, to give knowledge. And then organization. Non-fiction is often organized in a logical and coherent manner. Coherent means similar to logical, using headings, subheadings, and outlines. Then supporting evidence. Non-fiction writers use evidence such as quotes, statistics, and anecdote to support their claims. Even a research paper is a non-fiction. So there you can see lots of quotations, statistics, anecdotes means historical incidents to support their claims. Examples of non-fiction.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, examples of non-fiction books. The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yul Noah Harari. Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. Or if you want, you can find some other examples. Articles, newspaper articles, magazine articles, blog posts, they all are non-fiction. And then documentaries, documentary programs, films, and even there are educational documentary movies just like Discovery Channel. Even in our Rupavahini TV channels, there are some documentary films. They are non-fiction actually. Television programs that present factual information. So there are certain television programs which present factual information. They are coming under non-fiction. Okay, so this is the place where we have to stop. We'll continue this tomorrow. Also, we are having lectures. So that's better actually. In a way, we are having lectures in 2 consecutive days. Okay, so this is what we did. Our topic was language, literature, and aesthetic, different creative forms of English language, literature, media, and translation. So under that I thought of doing up to media, but time was not enough. These things: introduction, objectives, different forms of literature, poetry, prose, drama, non-fiction. Okay, so that is the end for today. Shall we meet again tomorrow?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then good night.
Thank you, madam. Good night, madam.
Okay, good night.
Ma'am, can you share the slides, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. Now itself I'll share it with Mr. Rishad, then he will share it with you. So then I will exclude media part, and media part will be taken to tomorrow's lecture. Okay. Okay, I will share.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Okay.